I am Dr. Anita Shankar from Department of English, Government Digvijay College, Rajnandgaon. I am going to deliver a lecture on Bores, an essay by E.V. Lucas. Edward Verrall Lucas was a British essayist, journalist and novelist who started his career as a news reporter, later became the assistant editor of well-known magazine Punch, and finally culminating his career as chairman of publishing house Medwin and Company. But the best description of the author has been by Frank Arthur Swinnerton, an English novelist, critic, biographer and essayist, who said that Lucas had a great appetite for the curious, the human and the ridiculous. If he were offered a story, an incident or an absurdity, his mind instantly shaped it with wit and form. He read a character with wisdom and gravely turned it to fun. He versified a fancy or concentrated in an anecdote or instance all that a vaguer mind might stagger for an hour to express. But his was the mind of a critic and a commentator, and the hideous sustained labor of the ambitious novelist was impossible to him. The essay Bores is a fine work of E.V. Lucas, which displays his abilities as a critic and commentator to shape by virtue of his wit any incident thrown at him. About the essay, Bores is an example of reformist writing disguised by way of gentle humor and playfulness, provoking the readers to think that the inherent human nature of being kind to others makes one tolerate even a self-centered person. Summary: the writer starts with listing the eligibility required to write about bores, it being a sense of superiority, assurance and self-confidence to write about the subject or being a bore himself. Thereafter he states that in a boring person, the self-awareness of being a bore is generally missing. Rather, to his mind, he is the most agreeable person to socialize with. Hence, one could carry on in life without ever having the self-realization that his interests and pursuits could be of no value to another. Thereafter, the writer nails it when he identifies the cause of a person being labeled as a bore, it being his fixed ideas, that is, preoccupation of a mind firmly resistant to any attempt to modify it. This clinging to fixed ideas makes a bore an egotist, a self-seeker who always perceives himself to be the central figure and believes that what would interest him would interest others also, thereby lacking the ability to empathize and connect with others. Thereafter, the writer lists incidents in a bore's life like his house, his garden, himself, his health, his ancestry, his family, his immunity from influenza, etc., where a bore believes that his way of life would be of interest to his hapless polite audience. The writer opines that a bore's self-delusion based on his self-centeredness keeps him happy and content in the thought that he is the world's axle tree, that is the imaginary axis on which the world revolves. Thereafter, the writer comes to the next part as to how do the bores get their audience, their listeners. This, he concludes, is due to the inherent kind nature of humanity. It is this kind human nature of not hurting the sentiments of others which forces a person to listen to a bore rather than to be brave enough to bide him away. Then the writer returns to his funny element, whereby he describes tricks tried by a friend of his to evade bores, and then comes to the conclusion that the most repellent species of bores is the buttonholing bore, one who detained the other against his will and then trapped the latter to feign smiles and laughter just to humor the bore, a bore who narrates a funny story despite being told that the listener knows the story beforehand, and a bore who banks on his sense of humor despite having nothing of it. Thereafter, he narrates the incident involving a high ranking peer who had the unconscious habit of thinking aloud, which led to hilarious situation. The writer thereafter gives solutions to deal with bores, like developing the habit of thinking loud, like the peer mentioned above, or being offensive with the bore, or just being evasive at the sight of a bore, because there would never be a self-realization in a bore. Since none of the solutions cited by the writer are agreeable to the writer himself, he therefore suggests shutting down the Punch magazine itself, as the bore then cannot say that his so-called very funny joke or real life event is good enough for Punch. Thank you. Now, coming to the comprehension part. Question number 1. What is the quality required if one wants to write about bores? Answer. If one wants to write about bores, a sense of superiority, assurance and self-confidence is required. Question number 2. Who, according to Lucas, is a true bore? According to Lucas, true bore is always unaware of the fact that he bores others. On the contrary, he thinks that he is a very companionable person and is liked by all. Question 3. Why does Lucas say that everybody at some time is a bore? Lucas says that everybody at some times is a bore because everybody has a fixed idea about something, and fixed ideas of someone might be generally boring for many others. Question 4. But bores as a rule are bores always. Why does Lucas think so? According to Lucas, bores as a rule are always bores due to their egotism, that is, practice of talking too much about oneself. Such persons keep themselves as the central figures of their talks and presume this would be of interest to the listeners. Why are bores happy? Bores are happy because they have many things to say and they always get listeners whether they are willing to hear them or not. Why can bores be always sure of an audience? Bores always get good audience. It is all due to the inherent kind nature of men to be considerate and not to hurt the feelings of others. Question number 7. Explain Lucas' statement, bores make cowards of us all. According to Lucas, bores make cowards of us all because people in general, at the sight of a bore, instead of confronting him, rather try to evade him, or if caught, listen to his monologues. This is due to the inherent nature of men of not hurting the feeling of others. Question number 8. What was the device of Lucas' friend to avoid the bore? To avoid the boring talks of a bore, one of the friends of Lucas engaged his page boy who used to come to say that there was a telephone call for him. Question number 9. What is the defect of this device employed by Lucas' friend? As the trick of getting relief in the name of attending phone call cannot go for long for getting escape from a bore. Question number 10. Name the two sets of people who are not bores. The crafty men and busy men cannot be listed as bores. Why is the buttonholing bore difficult to deal with? The buttonholing bore is the most repellent specimen amongst the bores because he traps his audience by physical proximity, leaving no space for the listener to disengage and escape. Rather, due to the physical proximity, they have to show even smiles and laughters to show that they are following the monologue of the bore. What is the most humiliating experience when the buttonholing bore closes in? It is humiliating because despite of being disinterested, the listener, due to the physical proximity with the bore, has to show appropriate gestures like a nod here or a smile or laughter there merely to humor the bore. What does Lucas say about the worst type of bore? For this answer, question number 13, combine the answers of question number 11 and 12. Question number 14, what remedy does Lucas suggest to deal with bores? According to Lucas, cultivating a habit of thinking truthfully aloud, which would put the bore to his place, or being downright offensive with the bore, or totally evading a bore, are the available options. Later, he also suggested that humor magazine Punch also be shut down so that the bore cannot say that his funny joke is good enough for Punch. Thank you.